Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to September. Finally, it's September time, which all else being equal should mean that markets should at least wake up again to some extent. Which also should spill into more opportunities from a tactical perspective, and we'll start reviewing that here again in just a minute. Before we get started, and I do want to get started right away if we could, I want to quickly just do an audio and visual test. If you guys could just quickly just confirm if you're hearing me okay as usual, right? That would be super helpful. And then we are going to get started here in just a minute. Just getting a couple more things here set up. And then we're kicking off September here. With hopefully a lot of information and value for you guys here. So thank you so much. It looks like we're all good here. Okay, perfect. So let's get to it. I am working a bit on the road here for the next couple of days. Then traveling on Friday, and then we'll be in good shape to get into things over the next couple of weeks. So. Thanks for being here again. Welcome to September. Finally, as I said before, if you're here for the first time, it's good to have you here. Great to be back after a long Labor Day weekend, at least for those of us in the United States. If you're here for the first time, I want to welcome you. This is our Set the Market morning call, which means that we're going to spend the next 10-15 minutes or so going through some of the top things on our notepad. A quick note, I do want to let everyone know that all of you guys that signed up for our trade-a-thon, which starts tomorrow, you should be receiving an email with how to log in and all that. So for those of you guys who don't know what that is, we're doing live trading and live routine of our morning routine. How do we scan the market? How do we approach the market? How do we find trades? We're going to be doing that live every single Monday through Thursday here in September, starting tomorrow. If you don't have a ticket yet, make sure you grab that. For all of you guys that are signed up, I know you're the go-getters, and you just want to make sure that you know that you are going to get an email if you haven't already on how to log in to the sessions each day. So that's what's going on. So what are we going to talk about? Well, for those of you guys that are in trade ops, and I think I even posted this chart on our YouTube channel. In fact, I can show this to you guys quickly. You will note that gold and silver quietly on Sunday moved higher. Why is all that happening? Well, we continue to get the monetary debasing. I'm going to continue to mention the chart that you got on your screen here right now. I'm going to continue to mention it until I note that more than just a handful of you are paying attention to this. It's factually, we know it, that most of you do not care about what I'm showing here in this chart. This is the dramatic outperformance of basically hard assets, gold miners, silver, gold, copper miners, all sorts of stuff, even Chinese and European stocks, beating the living daylights out of your favorite Max 7 thing that everyone's got their portfolio chock full of. Until I get to the point where more than just a few of you care, and again, I know most of you don't give a shit about it right now because your portfolio is still holding up. Until that point, I'm going to continue bothering you with this chart until it becomes very clear that in a time of monetary debasement and the kind of setup we have right here right now, a portfolio of hard assets, and this is not a trading account, although there's trades to be done, that will beat the equity only portfolio probably by a wide margin and hopefully with lower volatility as well. So just keep this in mind. This is important. Again, I'm hopefully doing a good job explaining this to people, so more people are going to be listening to what I think is an important story. It's already happening. It's not like this is a forecast. It's already happening. We've talked about it now for 18 months. But anyway, here we are. So let's look at gold and silver, and I want to show you guys what's happening globally as well as far as yields are concerned. So I've got a chart for this, as we do, and there's two charts I want to show you. First of all, I want to show you one more time that the rally since April was in hard assets or in assets, excuse me, so long duration assets like equities. So that would be, for example, the NASDAQ 100 up here has gone up, but also so has uranium, so has gold, so has silver, so has platinum, so has a lot of stuff, gold miners and so on and so forth. All at the expense of that line down there, this one, the odd one out, going lower. And that is your US dollar, right? So understand that it's not just everything's amazing and awesome and rosy and beautiful and puppies and rainbows. It's actually the dollar going down. Now, does that mean that, Serge, if the dollar starts to rally, all these assets are going to fall? I'm not so sure it's that easy. I think this is a more complex environment. We will figure that out together. But for now, I want to point out what's actually happening, right? So if you're looking at your poll, if you're saying, hey, I'm hot shit and I'm long Nvidia stock and I'm making money, understand that your purchasing power is getting destroyed, right? That's what's really happening. So, but Nvidia, by the way, a whole other story, is starting to look a bit weak here as well. So that might be a whole other thing. We'll tackle that as well. Okay, so that's number one. The other thing I wanted to point out is a chart that I'm going to have to reconstruct. Oh no, actually, I don't have to reconstruct it. I just have to bring it up because I made it over the weekend. So let me just quickly go over here. So if you guys excuse me for just a minute to find that chart, it'll be here, easily retrievable. Here we are. Okay, so there are two charts that I want to show you as far as gold and silver is concerned here. All right, so this is a chart that I showed in our trade op stream over the weekend, and I think I also posted it here in our YouTube posts. And what you're seeing here is both gold on the right, gold on the left, silver on the right, breaking out further quietly over the weekend on a Sunday. This all happened on a Sunday evening. So, 2 nights ago, it's obviously Tuesday today. And a lot of this is happening because what's happening in global yields. So let me show you what that is a bit more specifically. And for that, I do have to create a chart, and I'm going to create this chart for you guys here live. I think that sometimes adds value for those people that care about these kind of things. So I'm going to create 3 lines, and I'll make them line charts so all of you can see what is happening. So global yields. So this is, for example, UK 30-year yields, US 30-year yields, French 30-year yields, and you might say to yourself, and I can't blame you for this, Serge, I don't give a flying shit about French bond yields. You will care about it if it starts to weigh on assets that you own, and it will, right? So here is what's happening at the same time. So all these things are going up, right? So yields are going up, and at the same time, you also see things like gold continuing to go higher. I'm going to add this in a new pane so you can see this. So as these yields are going up, so too are prices of gold and silver. I just added the price of gold down there. Why is that important? It's uncontrollable global sovereign spending, right? It's completely out of control. The U.S. is 7% deficit spending. The French can't control it. The Germans are spending. So there is potential growth within that, particularly with some of the defense spending in Germany and Europe. But it comes at a cost, right? Just like your NASDAQ bubble continuing to bubble higher comes at the cost of the lower dollar at this stage in the game. And this is the same thing. So, and if you guys have questions on this, please let me know. But this is incredibly important, I believe, to understand. So that's why we continue to reiterate, and no one's listened, and now we are here 1 year later. We've been talking about this for 18 months, but let's say 1 year later, and these assets that we've been pounding the table for 18 months now that are going to outperform the S&P. They're doing it now 2, 3, 4x, right? In the case of gold miners, it's like 5x or something like that, or even more. It's crazy, right? Now, it doesn't have to go. I mean, it's going to continue like that linearly, but that's kind of what's going on. Now, what's really critical here to understand, in my view, and this is something for all of you guys that are Heat Seeker members tomorrow. We're having a very important webinar tomorrow, I believe at 11. If you want to learn more about all this stuff, uranium and copper and that whole story that's beating the S&P, it's critically important to understand this is not just a trade. Like, we believe this is a long-term story. We believe this is a 5 to 10 year story, and people who are going to overly active try to trade this are going to get their asses kicked, right? Just like people who traded Palantir 1,000 times over the past few years are nowhere near the gains that stock had over the past few years, right? There's a time and a place for trading, and it's called trading around positions or maybe counter trends or whatever. But if there's a strong tailwind for something, like there is in the case of what we believe to be here, the global inflationary story, the global, completely out of hand spending of global governments, it's weighing on yield, it's weighing on the dollar. That's an investment. Now, again, I'm not here to give you investment advice. I can't do that here legally. We can only do that over at Blue Marlin Advisors. This is purely educational. So you're going to have to go check with yourself with your investment advisor, God willing you have one, or you come to us at Blue Marlin. That works as well, but I can't give investment advice here. This is just educational. But I think one mistake that a lot of people are going to do is they're going to look at this stuff. And again, I'm going to go back to the same chart that we started off here this morning. The same chart, and we run portfolios like that over at Blue Marlin that are doing exceedingly well because of this entire theme. So again, this is the chart. I believe people are going to try to trade. People that are trying to trade this entire, gold and silver, and there's trades to be had, but they're going to dramatically underperform and probably miss the majority of the move. Right? Just like people who try to play Palantir or Nvidia and traded it over the past few years, it's been a better investment than a trade, and an easier one at that, right? At some point, those things will end. I think particularly Nvidia will end at some point. I'm not bearish, I'm not short, so don't send me a 10-page hate mail. I know some of you guys like to do that. There's no need for that. So that's what's going on here. There's one other thing I want to show you guys, and that's small cap stocks. Now I'm probably getting the attention of some of you guys who like to chart chase, which sadly still remains a very, very common thing that a lot of people do, which is also why a lot of people are going to blow up over the next 5 to 10 years. But here is, since it's monthly, since it's a new month now, we now have new monthly charts. Here is a monthly chart of the Russell 2000. I'm just going to quickly work on it. If you give me just 1 second, then I'm going to show you. We can just look at the actual Russell itself like that, and I'm going to make this a monthly chart. So this comes out to look as clear as possible. Here is the Russell 2000. Now, there's a lot of people who are jumping up and down Russell and breakout and this and that. They're showing good strength, good relative strength, and they're certainly back in a more neutral space now than they were before. But I still want to remind people, as much as I could see the potential for small cap stocks to run into the end of the year. I'm not sure if it happens already now here in September and October, but I could imagine, a scenario where that starts to happen. However, keep in mind, it hasn't broken out yet, right? This is a monthly chart. So this is a chart that shows you that going back to 2021, so since May or the spring of 2021, the Russell 2000 is consolidating. It has not yet broken out, okay? Once it starts breaking out, I'll be all over it. You'll hear it here. The members will hear it. Our trender indicator will give it to us, maybe even the market rover from a trend. But so far right now, it hasn't broken out yet. It's something worth watching, but it hasn't actually broken out yet. So I think that's a good enough college try here to start the week and certainly a new month. I hope it helps. We have a lot of stuff going on here. So in 5 minutes, we're doing our Market Rover member session. We're going to show you all the prevalent trends that we're watching. So that's for Market Rover members. And then tomorrow we'll be back here for our Set the Market morning call. This one here right now. So please make sure you come back. If you have any questions, please let us know. And then tomorrow at 9:45 Eastern time, so 6:45 a.m. Pacific, we're starting with Trade-a-thon, which is our live trading and morning routine session every single Monday through Thursday for the entire month of September. If you haven't signed up yet, make sure you do that. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care and be well.